Have we had Arthos' final cast ever in the GSL? Are Terrans dominating again? And is this the last ever episode of StarCraft Today? All of these questions will be answered today in StarCraft Today.
StarCraft Today.
Your favorite StarCraft news show. Last week we saw the GSL finals with Ragnarok versus Maru. For Ragnarok a first, for Maru as common as a walk in the park, as he had been here 7 times before, winning 4 out of 7. In the pre-game interview, Maru stated that Ragnarok was the easiest out of all 8 opponents, and that he didn't believe that Ragnarok had any momentum because, and I quote, he hasn't done anything. Maru immediately proved that he meant what he said in Game 1 with a 3 Reaper rush, killing a couple of drones as well as killing a building spinecrawler. The Terran player followed this up with an unscouted cloak banshee, killing a couple more workers for free. When Maru did his first major push out, Ragnarok tried to go for a counter-attack while giving up his fort base, but that didn't quite work out as he only ended up killing a handful of workers. At this point, Maru was simply too strong, moved out and easily won the game. Game 2 started out with a 4 Hellion run by taking out 7 workers. Despite the worker damage Maru did, it didn't quite feel like it was worth it, as it allowed Ragnarok to set up a perfect defense versus the follow-up 2 Rex tank marine push. Maru decided to cut workers and all in with 44 workers off of 8 Rex production while having a 3rd base. Ragnarok wasn't completely ready for it, but still managed to hold the initial push. The 2nd push, however, Ragnarok seemed a little bit less prepared for some reason, and as his flank didn't quite work out, Maru took the supply lead and pushed to his 2nd win in the finals. In Game 3 we saw Ragnarok return to his old road rushing shenanigans, but despite his fast tank snipe and the Ling Flood follow-up, he did not manage to really deal sufficient damage to get himself in a great spot. Maru managed to cancel the fort base, the game felt pretty even, and the early game felt largely irrelevant. At around the 13-minute mark, Ragnarok attempted a massive Ling Bane bust, but the only thing he managed to put a dent in was his own bank, as he lost a crap ton of Banelings and really only took out a planetary fortress. Ragnarok then tried to go for a Broodlord switch, but Maru had plenty of Ghost out, and there was sadly no Overseer to spot those bad boys. What had looked to be the first real macro game quickly turned into a disappointment for the Zerg, as he did not have enough units to hold and was forced to tap out once more. Game 4 started with another bomber for Ragnarok, as about 12 Blue Flame Hellions drove into the main base for a bit of a drone barbecue. After killing 30 workers with the Hellions, Maru decided to transition into Speed Banshees, which managed to kill a couple of extra workers. With Maru this far in the lead, the Terran decided to go for a lackluster Thor tank move out, which actually got cleaned up by Ragnarok, and for a second there was some hope that the Zerg might actually take a map. Maru quickly shut down that hope as he continued rallying units across the map, taking increasingly better fights until Ragnarok ran out of defensive steam, and after 4 games and about 45 minutes of actual playtime, Maru is now the first ever player to win 5 GSLs in the history of the GSL. It also was the final cast of Arthos in the GSL, as the beautiful American caster is moving to Canada, or has already moved to Canada. He did have a goodbye video produced by GSL, and on top of that, him and Tasteless also spoke a little bit about it being the last cast near the end. Both of the links to that will be in the description, and I urge you all to watch it. It was quite nice. It's a part of StarCraft history that will not soon be forgotten. Korea wasn't the only place where we had some high-level StarCraft 2 action, as over in Europe the playoffs of the DreamHack Masters Atlanta Regionals played out over the past week. In the winner bracket we saw Reiner put on a brilliant performance, dominating Gong Fu Banda in a one-sided 3-0 series, destroying Hero Marine 3-1, and to top it all off taking out Serral in a very exciting and interesting ZVZ best of 5. Over in the lower bracket, in the meanwhile, we saw Clem make the run of a lifetime. After getting knocked down by Serral from the upper bracket, Clem went on to 3-1 Lambo, 3-1 Max Packs, 3-1 Hero Marine, and 3-0 Showtime, putting himself in the lower bracket final versus Serral for the rematch. And in that best of 5 we saw a completely different Clem than in the first series they played. Whereas in the first series the focus seemed to be on tanks when it came to factory units, in the 2nd series the young French Terran's main focus seemed to be getting out as many Widow Mines as humanly possible, allowing him to play a very aggressive style which paid dividends, as he quickly took Game 1 and Game 2 with this mine heavy style. In game number 3 Serral found that the counter to no tanks was just a quick 1-1 roach all-in, which Clem hadn't prepared for. But despite that hiccup in game 3, Clem managed to win game 4 after an insanely good early game Hellion run by killed 23 workers, Zero tried to come back, but his eco never really took off and was forced to tap out after an 18-minute struggle. That brought us the same finals as we had during the DreamHack Valencia regionals between Clem and Rainer. The Italian Zerg player started out strong by winning the first 2 maps in dominant fashion, putting himself on match point as he had started with a 1-map advantage due to coming from the winner's bracket. The series started to turn around when Clem won on Data C by playing an active Marine Marauder mine into Ghost style, which left Rainer scrambling for a defense. Rainer continued to struggle in the next 2 games, losing a semi-late game on Moondance and getting dropped to death on Tropical Sacrifice. In the final game on Waterfall, things seemingly turned around as Rainer established himself a very good position after an advantageous early and mid game. It once again was Clem's multitasking and ability to win fights in 4 places at once that allowed him to pull ahead in the later stages of the mid game and eventually complete the reverse sweep, winning Clem a 5th DreamHack Masters regional title. Of course, we also had StarCraft over in America, but no one cares about it. Nah, just kidding. We had a classic Deep versus Australia finals after Australia quickly disposed of Scarlet in the lower bracket with a 3-0 victory. The finals was a little more disappointing for Australia as Neep showed off some nice Archon timings, quickly winning him game 1 and game 2, putting Neeplet on match point. Australia fought back in the next 2 games with a tight blink timing and a beautiful robo all-in from 1 base. Australia attempted another proxy robo build in the final game, but did not manage to break Neep and was forced to tap out, giving Neep the DreamHack Masters Atlanta North America title. That wasn't all this week had, as we also had 3 ESL Open Cups, starting on the Sunday in Korea, where Beyond took the 2nd win in a row, taking out Solar 3-2 in the finals. Over in Europe, Clem decided not to play after winning the DreamHack Masters, the lazy prick, giving Lambo the opportunity to get to the finals from the bottom side of the bracket. Sadly for Lambo, that is where the story ended, as Big Gabriel, also known as Hero Marine, was a bit too strong and managed to win 3-1. In North America, we had Solar and Dark in the finals, with Solar losing his 2nd finals of the weekend, this time with a 3-1 as Dark put on a dominant performance and took home the $200 as well as 10 EPT points. As always, we also have this week's clip of the week, and this time it is Christianer who wins, throws his glasses with so much force that I believe they're right now at the center of the earth, and shows off his cool Spider-Man curtains.
Happy for Christianer. He's definitely going to be pumped after this one. And there you have it, Christianer 3-2, moving on in the playoffs. Geralt's just, yeah, kind of stroking his beard, but also in a bit of disbelief. He is in such a good position. Christianer, by the way, awesome background. I never noticed he had Spider-Man curtains, but awesome choice, my dude. Awesome choice.
And on the wall as well. And he was popping off. He already slammed the desk once in the middle of the series.
Seeing a young player pop off like that, and also having cool Spider-Man curtains, just makes me very happy. What doesn't make me happy though is that we've reached the end of the episode, except that we still have one question left, and that is this the final ever episode of StarCraft Today? The answer to that is yeah. This is the final ever episode of StarCraft Today. I will be discontinuing StarCraft Today. It is one of the most time-intense series to make, and I noticed that I don't have as much time to focus on my professional gaming career, which is actually what I'm doing. I try to perform as well as possible in tournaments, and it cuts heavily into that. And I would also like to have one day off in the week where I don't have to make a video, and we decided that StarCraft Today was the one that was gonna get cut. I'm sorry for everyone that really enjoyed it. I really always appreciated all the emails and all the nice comments I got about this series specifically. People that say they don't have a lot of time during the week and are very happy to get their weekly 10 to 15 minute catch up. I'm sorry to you all for not continuing that, but I hope you all can understand. And for the people that really like the theme song, you will be capable of downloading it in the description below. We'll make it available as a ringtone for the small price of €6 monthly. We will send you an invoice for that, so be sure to download that and send us the cash. Thanks all so much for watching this final ever episode of StarCraft Today, and bye bye.
StarCraft Today.
Your favorite StarCraft news show.